Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. We're back with another episode today, Thursday, June 20th. As always, Ari with Korea. We'll get right into our recap of yesterday. Korea, it was a one-on-one day for you, but it was tough because the one loss was tough because they correlated, with the Nerfy losing. But the first one, they're still, obviously sort of under. I think it was 1-0, if I'm not mistaken, through 5 innings. Um, Tough first inning for you, but still 1-1.
I mean, like you said, it was 1-0. I saw the top of the ninth. It was 2-0. It was such a good read, but oh, Tyler Anderson ruined that nerfy for me before it even got started. Obviously, he walked a couple guys, and Angels couldn't really get their infielding right, so that was just a tough read all around. So that was an unfortunate loss on the nerfy there, but I'll take the first five. We'll obviously make up for it. Freddie Peralta cooked. The Angels didn't score a run throughout the 8 innings, and then continuing on. And then like I said, Tyler Anderson did limit the damage a little bit. Obviously, only 2 runs allowed. I was just backing the fact that the Brewers were facing lefties, and the Brewers against lefties are one of the worst in baseball. I think they rank near the bottom against an OPS, batting average, on base percentage, everything in terms and their batting stats. They're pretty much near the bottom against lefties, and that obviously was a caveat to yesterday, only scoring 2 runs. But I knew Freddie Peralta was going to, at least cook through this Angels lineup. And yes, he did, not even allowing a run, pretty much limiting all damage. So, unfortunately, Tyler Anderson just allowed the one of those 2 runs in the first inning, which we did not need. But, we'll obviously take the first 5 under 4.5 because, like I said, backing both backing both pitchers, and it was a 1-0 game through the 5. So obviously, just backing both pitchers, just to cook through both lineups. And that's exactly what they did through 5. But, Tyler Anderson just couldn't have. Tyler Anderson, former Mariners, man. Former Mariners just love to screw me over in bets. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. But, I'll take the 1-on-1 day, obviously. It was a good read, but, just Tyler Anderson giving up that 1 run in the first inning from the sac fly from Rhys Hoskins. So, and then obviously I saw the throw in because I was watching the nerfy, and I forgot. I think it's Taylor Ward out in right left field. He didn't even try to get him at home. He just tossed it to third. I was like, you're not even gonna try. I was like, you're not even gonna. It wasn't even like a long. Like it was an easy out. Couldn't have even. But you know what? 1-on-1 day for me. Ari, how'd you do yesterday?
Yep, the match streak has come to an end. It was 1-1, I think, in the 6th. And Pete Alonso hit a 2-home run and put it 3-1. And it was looking, all right at that point. But then the Rangers scored 2 right back in the bottom of the 6th, and they scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th. And that was the end of the score, 5-3. So, like I said, with streaks in baseball, I typically will ride them until they're over. And now it's pretty much over. So now we go back to not fading the Mets, but just not backing them as much. But obviously, they still have a lot of confidence winning now 7 of 8, obviously. So we'll see if they can stay hot. I think they play the Cubs next, so we'll see. And then the Rangers, we'll see if this win can turn their season around at all. Obviously, only 1 win, but they're getting Scherzer back on I think Saturday. So we'll see if they can turn some things around.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw Booker with Trent officially place he called it was the Grimace Mets. As soon as I saw it was the Mets versus Trent. As soon as he placed that, I said, yeah, it's looking over. But obviously, definitely a good game. It was definitely close. It was surprising to see Manaea throwing a no hitter through 6, even though it was a 1-1 game. And then obviously the Rangers bats finally woke up and put some
I
runs on the
didn't
board.
even say that in the bottom of the first when the Rangers scored the 1 run. It was 2 quick outs and then the walk, hit by pitch. And the hit by pitch was on an 0-2 pitch that bounces on the plate and then hits. I forget who it was at the plate, but
I think it was Lane for that.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, but then at least 1 or 2 of the walks was like a clear strike that the umpire calls a ball, so that didn't help either. But
yeah, definitely one of those interesting games where it was something magical is happening, but you're looking at the score like, how's that? Yeah, but so unfortunately the Mets got the loss for you. So
Dylan
unfortunately,
Moore, 2-run home run, 2-0 Mariners. Crawford single, Dylan Moore home run.
what a great start for my Mariners right there. Beautiful, beautiful start right there. Mariners up 2-0. And speaking of our early games, we decided to run back our Nerfy stream as well. We are watching the Rays and Twins right now. So far, Simone Richardson got one out, striking out Yandy Diaz to kick off the game. So obviously we wanted to run it back. We did see there are a few day games, and we zoned in on a couple of games that we liked, and we didn't want to take the Mariners, and thank God we didn't take the Mariners now for good reason. So for two good reasons. So not losing our money, and obviously Dylan Moore homering. So obviously those were our two Nerfy that we were looking at. So obviously now we're at the Rays and Twins. So that was obviously the great call there. So I commend Ari for once again making the great call.
It was a biased call, but those were
partial bias, are obviously looking correct so far. Right call. But obviously, unfortunately, we had a 1-2 day yesterday for us, but we're gonna bounce back today, kicking off Thursday, June 20th. And like I said, Copa America kicks off tonight with Argentina and Canada. And I have so many picks for Copa America, but we're just going to get right into what's happening tonight. Ooh, another K. That's beautiful. Simone Richardson, 2 outs in the top of the first, striking out Brandon Lau. So that's nice to see. First, we're going to go to Argentina -1.5 here at -125. You're getting it at a good price tonight. And look, this team is the reigning World Cup champions. This team is the reigning Copa America champions. Is there an incentive or not, or you should say lack of incentive for this team to repeat? Yes, because they've already won it all. Messi finally got his World Cup. They've finally done it. There's not that much incentive for them, or is there? And so that's why you can see right there, I have them to win. And I know it's boring, but this team is already so good without Messi. They still have guys like Alejandro Garnacho, who I've seen do amazing things in the Premier League. They have Julian Alvarez. Oh my goodness! Oh wow, what a liner from Isaac Paredes. That one foul almost scared me. Oh Jesus! But this Argentina team, even without guys like Messi and Angel Di Maria, I still think they're so talented enough, especially in a Copa America where you only have two teams that are at the top, and one of the teams I don't think right now is healthy enough to win it all. It was tough for me because of these these statistics about how every year in Copa America the team that's most favored doesn't win it. Last year it was Brazil. They were heavily favored to win it all. Not last time, excuse me. I think it was 2021. Obviously, because COVID. In 2021, they were heavily favored to win, and look who won. It was Argentina, Lionel Messi, and they've met in the finals. So, it makes it hard for me to not go against Argentina. So that's why I didn't want to back Brazil because everything going on, especially with how I think the other day Ronaldinho was saying how this team looks horrible and they're not in the right form, and yes, you can take what you will against that draw against the United States right before they got into Copa America play starting tonight, but they still didn't look that good. Like it's not like they didn't. It's not like we looked impressive as the United States. They just didn't perform as well, and so that's why there's so much value on Brazil as well. But I just feel like in this situation, I want to go with the better team. And so that's why I'm taking Argentina to win it all at +75. And it starts tonight with the Argentina team going -1.5, winning by 2 versus the Canadians, and going on the other side with Canada. They're a good squad. They do have some top talent there, especially on the defensive side. It was speed like Alphonso Davies, but this is Argentina we're talking about. This is no team you're going to draw like the French B team when they were going to France and they drew the B team. Like this is not them. This is Argentina. They're not going to mess around, okay? That we've heard that they are potentially having some surprises in the starting lineup, but for the most part, it's going to be the most consistent guys that I've already seen Messi anytime goal scorer is already at -125 on DraftKings. I already know Trent and every single person is going to be hammering Messi to score tonight. That's just because that's just who he is, and that's just what is going to probably happen tonight. And I would not be surprised probably if it comes from a pen or not. So I do like Argentina to win by 2 tonight, and I mean I do think Canada will keep it a little bit closer. I don't think Argentina runs away with this like Germany ran away with it against Scotland to kick off the Euros. I don't think Argentina runs away with this against Canada. I did hear there was going to be like 71. I think it's a sold out Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, so it's going to be a raucous environment, and it's going to be plenty of Argentine fans wanted to see Lionel Messi for the first time. So I'm just going to take Argentina -1.5. The better team to win by 2 here. I think they win, potentially get a clean sheet 2-0 or maybe like a 3-0 win, 3-1, something like that. I would like that. And I already talked about Argentina, winning just in terms of the value there. I don't really like Brazil as a favorite as well. But the next team I have is Uruguay at +550. They are in Group C. I do love their team. Oh, beautiful. Zach Littell. What a K. That was gorgeous. 4 outs. We have 4 outs here. 2 more outs, and we are having a day. So, Uruguay, obviously, +550. I love the value there. We have Darwin Nunez, Luis Suarez, so much talent. Francisco Valverde, Federico Valverde. The amount of talent they have, I feel like they should win Group C. That's why I say should, because I have, obviously, the other team there. I'm going to get into them in a little bit. But I just love backing Uruguay in a spot, because of their path. And if they do potentially win this group in Group C, then they'll have a favorable path. They'll have to play the winner of Group D, also the group of death, because that group is insanely hard. They have Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and one of those 3 is not going to make it. And that's the crazy thing around it. So I really think Uruguay, if they finish first in Group C, they have a favorable path because they have to play the second in Group D, and I already know that team's going to be so exhausted. And then I think they have a favorable path to win it all with guys who have played in the top spots, like I said, Valverde for Real Madrid, Suarez in his time, throughout the Prem, going to obviously joining Messi at Barcelona, playing. Throughout his time in Europe, obviously now joining him at Inter Miami. Obviously I talked about Nunez at Liverpool as well. I love Uruguay is in the spot as well at +1,400. And then there's another teammate of Darwin Nunez who's at +1,400 in Colombia. I love them because of the value. It's kind of like how I had the Netherlands, at +1,800 or something around that. I love Colombia here at the value at +1,400 here to win it all. I only love Colombia because the fact that obviously – Oh, that's on the warning track. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Ooh, that was a little sweaty, but second out there.
Is it Royce Lewis now?
Oh no. He's 0 for 3 against Littell though, so I that puts a smile on my face. But Royce Lewis, But I do love Colombia here at +1,400. Luis Diaz. And obviously this is more kind of going off of the fact we saw how they absolutely thrashed the United States men's national team just a few days ago, 5-1 at FedEx Field. It was obviously kind of more shocking for the United States, but obviously kind of more corroborating the fact that Colombia's team has a very good attack up front, obviously led by Luis Diaz, the winger who plays for Liverpool. I think, he kind of leads this team. And, obviously in a group where you have Brazil at the top, one of the favorites, I feel like no one is really talking about them that much because of the fact you have these top 2 teams in Argentina and Brazil, and then everybody else in Uruguay at +550. And then there's such a massive drop off, you're not going to take it. But there's so much value there. I love it at +1,400. It's worth a little bit of a sprinkle. I do love the fact that Colombia, they have, the recent win streaks. Excuse me, to their name. They have the recent win streaks to their name, and the fact that Luis Diaz is one of the best wingers right now in football that I've seen play in the Premier League, and the stuff that he can do on the outside is amazing. And you're getting the value of +1,400. It's worth a sprinkle. It's basically kind of how like the Netherlands was, and we saw how the Netherlands are kind of starting out their run. They looked pretty good, and they were kind of near the top right now. And now that Kylian Mbappe has that broken nose, things could really shape up to where Netherlands could be the top of that group and have a really favorable path. So, anything could happen in the game of football or soccer, whatever you call it out there. So I do love Colombia at plus 1,400 there just for the value. And then I had to back us some way, somehow. I didn't want to back us to win because it's at the same value as Colombia, but I know the United States would have an improbable path to go if they want to make it, because if they do somehow, if they finish second, which I do have, it's either second or first. If they finish first, that means they're gonna have to play the second team in Group D, which is probably going to be that Colombia team that throttled them just a week ago or something, or it's going to be them finishing second and then having to play the first finisher, which is probably going to be Brazil in the first round. And it's just it's a lose to go all the way to the Copa America finals if they really want. Oh man, he walked him. But I do love the value there at plus 135 for them to win Group C. And this is the only way I'm backing them. You're getting a value of plus money, and we have to back America some way, right? Obviously, the thing about this team, right, is that they did lose Serginho Dest, and one of their back defenders, obviously for PSV. That's a really big loss for them. I don't really think they've realized yet how much of a loss that is, because they don't have that blanket of defense, to kind of help them in situations where you're going to have fast guys like Vinicius Jr., Lionel Messi, Luis Diaz, and plenty more who can go up the side. And, Serginho Dest was a blanket for a while. And, they do have obviously a good back line, but Serginho Dest, the way he defended was at a different level. And did he slide into first? What is bro doing? Max Kepler, what are you doing? This is not Little League, my brother. You're not in Little League. And now he's injured? Oh, no, he's just taking his time. But, simple six right there, Ari. Congratulations to you as well. We are undefeated now, 2-0 this week on our Nerfy streams. We're going to be going back to those a lot more, obviously, as we had more of these day games throughout the week. But I'll finish yapping about the USA to win Group C. I love the value there. Obviously, all they need to do is pretty much just draw against Uruguay, because I do have them beating Bolivia and Panama in this group, and same for Uruguay. And it's just the deciding game between Uruguay. Are they going to draw, or hopefully if they don't win, then they're not going to win the group. But if they can draw and hope that they do have the goal differential against Uruguay, then I do think they have a great chance to win Group C, and you're getting it at plus money here at plus 135. I know it's so slight. It's just because it's a top-heavy group, because Group C is only Uruguay and the United States are the very presumed favorites to get out of that group. So might as well just take them to win the group here early on and not have to worry about what happens, in the knockout stages, in the quarters, and the semis. So those are my four futures, along with what's happening tonight in Mercedes-Benz, taking Argentina minus 1.5 here, minus 125. I do like Argentina to win it all here at plus 175. Uruguay as well at plus 550. Colombia at plus 1,400. Then I had to back the United States some way, somehow. So I backed them just to win their group here at plus 135. I think if they can just draw with Uruguay and then have the goal differential against them by beating Panama and Bolivia convincingly, then I think they have a great shot, obviously, to win that group. So those are my picks, as we head into Copa America starting tonight. Ari, I'll stop yapping now. What have you come up with on this Thursday?
Yeah, just one play again for me today. Going with the Yankees first 5 minus a half. Against the Orioles, Luis Gale against Cole Irvin. Luis Gale has obviously been dominant pretty much all season. He's basically the starter who came in place of Garrett Cole, who's back now for the Yankees. But obviously, Gale's been too good for them to, move away from him. He has like a 2.5 ERA at home, something along those lines, and he's also. He has 5 starts in day games this year, and his ERA is under 1 in day games. And it's 4 p.m. Eastern, so I assume this would be considered a day game, compared to their usual 7 o'clock first pitches. So there's that going. Cole Irvin, I've backed him on here before. He's been pretty steady for the Orioles all season. but he has been slightly more hittable, on the road. And then obviously the Yankee Stadium is super hitter friendly. I'm not sure if Aaron Judge will be back yet or not, but either way, I like the Yankees in this spot, backing Luis Gill, and then not really fading Cole Irvin, but kind of just to the first five, just backing the Yankees bats, as well as backing as looks like Korea cut out again. I'm sure he'll join back in a bit, but Yankees first five. Minus a half, just need them to be leaving after 5 innings. Minus 120, obviously money line safer, but that's like super juiced at like minus 150, minus 160. So I'm confident enough in the Yankees to be leading through 5, maybe like a 3-1, 3-0 type of game, for them to be leading through 5. Obviously money line is a bit safer, but first 5 minus a half is where you can get better value, obviously. So that's my one play for today. Obviously, it's mostly day games. There's a couple night games. The one night game is the one in Alabama, I believe it's in Willie Mays' hometown, between the Giants and Cardinals. And then the Padres Brewers. Those are the 2 night games. Everything else is day and afternoon. But this one is a day afternoon at 1:00, 4 Eastern, 1:00 Pacific time.
Sorry for the absence. I figured out what the situation was. I'll tell you after. But I was looking at the Yankees today, just backing Luis Hill at home. That's kind of been our favorite system. Not really having to worry on the other side. Even though obviously Cole Irvin not the strongest. I do love the Yankees here. You don't like obviously taking the money line when it's that juice. I do love here you're getting a minus half a run at minus 120. You're just backing the Yankees to have a lead through 5, and I do love that bet for you. Especially after yesterday, a lot of people like myself had the Yankees first 5 money line, obviously backing Garrett Cole in his first start. And if you had that, I'm sorry, because it was tied, and then obviously got ruined in the top of the 5th. So obviously, that was a tough one there. But, backing Luis Hill, who has been a lot more dominant at home, backing him as well as the Yankees to get a lead through 5. I do love that play for you as well. You're getting that at a good price at minus 120. You mentioned a very small slate for baseball today. Obviously, most of the games during the day or kind of around this start time you mentioned. Obviously, we had us nerfy along with the Mariners game starting. Then obviously you mentioned the game in Birmingham between the Giants and Cardinals, and then wrapping up with the Brewers and Padres today. So obviously very small slate of baseball, and obviously just me targeting the Copa America plays. Obviously those are our 2 plays. Obviously the Yankees, back to mine, all with the futures. Obviously, I'll have all of these futures posted on our Twitter below, along with the Argentine minus 1.5. AKP Sports Talk, that's our Twitter. You can find the video, all of our cards, everything. That's our Twitter below. Give that a follow, like everything. We do appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving us. But that's going to do it for this episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's Ari. I'm Korea. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. We will be back, obviously, tomorrow to wrap up our week with some best bets. Win some money, guys. We will see you tomorrow.